Roseville versus Folsom, California. Which one's right for your family and how do you decide? Now this video was a request from one of you, my viewers, and I'm gonna do it for you today. By the end of this video, you'll know which one of these communities is right for your family. I'm gonna run you through 8 critical criteria for evaluating these two communities and comparing them head to head so that you can decide which one's right for you. Starting with criteria number 1, which is the community vibe or feel. Now, when it comes to community vibe or feel, these two communities are going to be very, very similar. They're both suburban communities. They're both neighborhood-based communities, traditional neighborhood-based communities. They both have a lot of new construction to them. They both have a lot of bike trails, and their shopping is going to be centered around shopping malls and strip mall style shopping. So these two communities are going to feel, as you drive through them, very, very similar. They are in distinct locations, though about a half an hour apart. If you look at the map of Sacramento, you'll notice the freeway kind of makes a big V around Sacramento, and the right side of that V is going to be Highway 50, which has Folsom on it, and the left side of that V is going to be Highway 80, which has Roseville on it. Highway 50 accesses South Lake Tahoe, and Highway 80 accesses the Tahoe, Donner, and Truckee section of Tahoe on the west side of the lake. So one of the ways people decide between these two communities, if they're big skiers or they like to recreate in Tahoe a lot, is which part of Tahoe do you spend your time in? If you spend your time in South Lake Tahoe, then you're really going to be preferring Folsom. And if you like to spend your time in the Truckee area, then Roseville is going to be more your jam. But there's a little more to it than that when it comes to the community vibe. Both of these communities have an older downtown section, with Folsom's being right on the river and having a little bit more of that quaint downtown feel and the access to the river and the bike trails right along downtown Folsom. Now when it comes to the layout of the two communities, they are similar, but Folsom is going to be a little bit smaller and less spread out. Roseville is going to be more spread out. Folsom was designed a little more intentionally around its trails and park system, and Roseville had more of a piecemeal spreading approach to its city design. So you're going to have some longer traffic times in Roseville. You're going to have some bigger distances to cover in Roseville, and in general, the place is going to feel a little bit more spread out. There's also going to be a little difference in the recreational feel to the area. Roseville is going to be based a lot more around the golf courses, the golf course communities, and the bike trails, whereas Folsom has not just the bike trails and the parks, but it also has 2 lakes. And there's a very strong lake recreation culture there, both for motorized and non-motorized boating. But in general, both of these communities are going to have a very similar vibe or feel, and often it's going to come down to the schools and the home prices as to which one is going to work best for you. So let's get stuck into a few more of the details of Roseville versus Folsom. Criteria number 2 when evaluating these two communities has to be home prices. Now look, this is one of the most important things to consider when moving anywhere is what is it going to cost you to get a home for your family. And from the 30,000 foot view, the entire Sacramento area, which Folsom and Roseville are both in Sacramento County and considered to be part of the greater Sacramento area, the median home price in that area as of recording this video is $516,000, which is actually, for the state of California, a pretty reasonable median home price, making Sacramento itself one of the most attractive and affordable major metros in the state of California. However, Folsom and Roseville are very attractive and in-demand areas, and they are growing quite a bit, and as such, they're commanding a higher price than the median for the whole area. So let's go through the numbers. As of recording this video, Folsom is going to have a median home price of $765,000. What do you get for that median home price? You're going to get about a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,000 square foot or larger home on a small lot that's in pretty good condition. Now there are new construction builds in Folsom as well. They're going to come close to that price, but most of them are going to be above that price. But the entire Folsom Ranch area is being built out, so Folsom does have a lot of access to new homes. Now by contrast, as of recording this video, the median home price in the Roseville area is $650,000. That's more than $100,000 less than the Folsom area, which is significant. And this is one of the major differences between the two areas. Roseville also has a ton of access to new home communities. They're building out quite a bit. Now you can also get brand new construction within striking distance of that $650,000 median home price in Roseville. And in fact, you can get new construction quite a bit less than that still in Roseville. But what does that median home price of $650,000 get you in Roseville? Well, it's going to be more of a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 1,900 to 2,000 square foot home on a small lot in pretty good shape. And as I just said, maybe even brand new. So when it comes to home prices, Roseville represents a tremendous value for money. In fact, if you compare Roseville to all of the surrounding areas, Folsom, Rockland, Granite Bay, all of those areas, El Dorado Hills, Roseville is going to come out as the lowest median home price of all of those communities, making it a tremendous value for money. So when it comes down to deciding which community is going to be right for your family, if home price is a major factor for you, Roseville gets the win here. Before we move on to criteria number 3, you might be wondering who I am and why you should listen to me about real estate, Roseville, Folsom, or anything at all, really. And it's a fair question. My name is Rich Curtis with eXp Realty, and I've been selling homes in the Sacramento County, Placer County, and El Dorado County area for nearly 20 years now, in markets ranging from the Great Recession to the COVID market insanity and everything in between. So when it comes to real estate in this area, I've got you covered. Now, my goal with this channel is to help you make the highest quality real estate decisions you can from the comfort of your couch. So to that end, let's get right back to comparing Folsom and Roseville. Criteria number 3 when evaluating these two communities is recreation. Now, both communities have great recreational opportunities, but they're a little bit different. In Roseville, you're gonna have a lot of access to golf courses in Roseville and the Rockland area, and you're gonna have an extensive bike trail system and even a small theme park with Golfland Sunsplash there to entertain the kids. Now, in Folsom, you have an extensive bike trail system. They have 50 miles of Class 1 trails in Folsom that connect the 48 developed parks in the area and do a really good job of connecting the neighborhoods to the parks via these bike trails, which are mostly paved, so stroller accessible. They're really great for the family. Folsom also has 2 lakes, a smaller lake, Lake Natoma, with a 5-mile-an-hour speed limit. So essentially, there's almost no motorized traffic on that lake. So that's great for your paddleboarding, kayaking, canoeing, sailboats, rowboats, that sort of thing. And then there's the bigger lake, Folsom Lake, which is a power boating mecca for all of your wake surfing, water skiing, power boating kind of recreation. And there's a really big lake culture in Folsom because of that. So it depends on the type of recreation your family prefers. If you're a big golf family, then Roseville is absolutely gonna be for you. If you're more of an outdoor recreation family and you're gonna love access to the lakes and the trail system, then Folsom would get the win there for recreation for your family. Criteria number 4 when evaluating these two communities is cost of living. And I won't bury the lead here. The cost of living is really almost identical in the two communities, except for what we've already discussed when it comes to home prices, but there are a couple caveats to that. So when it comes to electricity, in Folsom, you have SMUD electricity, and in Roseville, you have Roseville Electric. And SMUD and Roseville Electric are almost identical when it comes to prices, both of which are nearly 50% less than the cost of PG&E. So if you were to compare these communities to something like, say, in El Dorado Hills, where it's on PG&E, your cost of power would be 50% less. But these two communities both have excellent power, stable power. They don't suffer the rolling brownouts and that sort of thing that you have on PG&E, and they're both going to be right about the same, and they both have great rates for power. Now, when it comes down to the rest of your cost of living, water and all of that, it's all going to be about the same. The main difference being the home prices. We talked about Folsom being at that $765,000 median home price and Roseville being at that $650,000 home price. So this could make a difference for your family. Now, if you were to buy the same house in Folsom and the same house in Roseville, the same price, then this wouldn't really come into play. But if you are buying in Roseville to take advantage of the fact that it has over $100,000 lower median home price, then you're also going to have lower taxes because those are going to be based on your purchase price. So your property taxes are going to be lower, and your insurance is going to be lower because the replacement cost of that home is going to be lower. So when it comes to cost of living, the big benefit to Roseville over Folsom is going to be the lower home prices and the lower taxes and insurance as a result of the lower home prices. But if you take home prices out of the equation, essentially both of these communities are going to be identical in terms of cost of living. Hey, if by the end of this video you still aren't sure if Folsom's right for you or Roseville, or you're considering some other communities in the area, feel free to reach out to me via the contact information on your screen or in the description down below. I've been selling homes in this area for nearly 20 years, and I've helped hundreds of families just like yours decide where to land in Sacramento, Placer, and El Dorado counties, and I'm always happy to help. All right, now back to comparing Roseville to Folsom. Criteria number 5 when evaluating these two communities is schools. Now, I won't bury the lead here. Both of these communities are known for having really excellent schools, and the schools are a draw for people who choose to relocate to both Roseville and Folsom, but there is a slight difference. Now, both communities are still growing and building out new subdivisions, and as such, both communities will have new schools coming online in the future. And so if access to new schools is something that's important for your family, both Folsom and Roseville will be providing a new school opportunity for you in the near future. But for the existing schools, if you go to greatschools.org and you start to research them, there's far too many schools to go through them one by one, school by school. But in general, you're going to see that the schools in Roseville are rating a 7 to an 8 out of 10 on greatschools.org, most of them. And the Folsom schools are rating a 9 to 10 out of 10 on greatschools.org for almost all of them. So Folsom schools are rating a slight bit higher. Now, ratings don't tell the whole tale, of course, and the best way to tell if a school is a good fit for your child and your family is to go there and to meet the staff and to get a feel for the place. But in general, when looking at these two communities, Folsom is going to rank a bit higher when it comes to school scores. And if that's something that means a lot to you, then Folsom could get the win here for your family. But really, either community is going to be great for you in terms of schools. Criteria number 6 when evaluating these two communities is heat. Now, the entire greater Sacramento area is a hot area. I mean, triple digits most of the summer. Hot. And Folsom and Roseville are going to be essentially the same when it comes to the outdoor ambient temperature, but there is a little difference in the opportunities you have to cool off. So in the Roseville area, you do have Golfland Sunsplash and a lot of community swimming pools and backyard swimming pools, which is a great way to cool off in the summer. In Folsom, you have a lot of backyard and community swimming pools, which is a great way to cool off in the summer, but you do also have those two lakes, Lake Natoma with the less than 5 miles per hour speed limit, which is a great place for swimming and non-motorized boating activities like we talked about during the recreation section, and Folsom Lake, which is great for your big power boating fun. But either way, Folsom has the addition of these two lakes for going to and getting cool in the summer. Now, to be fair, Folsom Lake is not a very far drive from Roseville either. So Folsom Lake is really a benefit to the Roseville community as well. Lake Natoma, however, really is just going to benefit the Folsom people as it's a little longer jaunt to get to Lake Natoma from Roseville. But either way you slice it, the addition of those two lakes, two more opportunities for cooling off and having some water-based recreation during the hot summer is a big benefit. So when it comes to heat here, I'm going to give the win slightly to Folsom. If you've made it this far and you're getting anything at all out of this video, hit the like button, click subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss another video with crucial information that could help you with your relocation to the greater Sacramento area, including the many town versus town comparison videos I have coming up for you, which will include Roseville versus Rockland, Rockland versus Folsom, Granite Bay versus Roseville. All of those combinations are coming soon to YouTube, so make sure you're subscribed. Criteria number 7 when it comes to comparing these two communities is going to be employment. Of course, you gotta live, you gotta eat, you gotta work. So employment is a big deal when you're relocating to a new area, and both these areas have great employment. In Folsom, we have Intel for tech employment, and we also have a pretty extensive health infrastructure with many small hospitals and surgery centers in Folsom, and a lot of retail jobs as well due to the Palladio and all of the shopping in Folsom. You also have really quick access to Sacramento for the really diverse job market that Sacramento has to offer. Now, when it comes to Roseville, you have a huge employer in Kaiser over there and all of the supporting infrastructure that goes with the Kaiser Medical Complex, and that provides a lot of jobs in Roseville. You also have both the Galleria and the Fountains, which is even more extensive shopping than you have in Folsom, which provides even more access to retail jobs in the Roseville area, and you still have quick access to Sacramento from Roseville to access that job market as well. So when it comes down to employment, both areas are going to have great access to jobs and a high likelihood that you will be able to both live and work in the same community. It just depends on which kind of job you need, which community is going to be better for you, but both of them have a really robust job market. You can't go wrong in either one. Criteria number 8 and our final criteria for comparing these two communities is location and traffic. Now, we talked a little bit about the location earlier, that Folsom's on Highway 50 and Roseville is on Highway 80, making that V around Sacramento. Folsom, Highway 50 accesses South Lake Tahoe, and Highway 80 from Roseville accesses the west side of the lake, the Tahoe, Donner, and Truckee areas of Tahoe. So that alone may determine which community is right for you, which part of Tahoe you want quicker, easier access to. Their access to downtown Sacramento is different as well, and the traffic patterns are different. In my experience, Roseville is more spread out and suffers from larger traffic problems than you do in Folsom. So traffic is going to be a bigger part of your life in Roseville than it is in Folsom, although it will still be part of your life in Folsom. It is going to be a quicker jaunt into downtown, in my opinion, from Folsom than it is from Roseville. So if you frequently access downtown Sacramento, Folsom might be a little easier. Folsom also has a light rail line that goes from Folsom Boulevard all the way right into downtown Sacramento. So if you want to be able to go out for a night on the town, have a few drinks, not worry about driving and take public transportation back to your home in Folsom, that is a possibility from Folsom using the light rail. That gives you a little sense of the difference in the location of the two and how that might affect your family so you can pick the right place for you. All right, that wraps up our discussion of Roseville versus Folsom and the 8 critical criteria you can use to determine which community is right for your family. And I hope this has helped you determine which one might work for you. But if you're still not sure, or maybe you are and you just want to do a deeper dive into one or the other, you can click this video right here for the pros and cons of living in Folsom. Or if it's Roseville you want to go deeper in, you can click this video right here for the pros and cons of living in Roseville. And if you want more of these town versus town head-to-head battle comparison videos of other towns in the area because you're still not sure where you might want to land, click this playlist down here for my town versus town playlist. Either way, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for making it to the end with me, and I'll see you on the next one.